And even the 3-1 pills is a speed run here, but as we get into it, it is going to be Betty, levels 8 through 11. Round 2, our 4 seed versus our 12 seed. Ook looking to get it out of the gates here, and it's about a 6-second virtual difference here. Betty not taking it horizontal to clear that red underneath it, but these players are going to try and use strategic garbage to advance their board.
Yeah, that's what we like to kind of call what we like to call for the advanced placement strategy, where it's like, you try to see what's coming up later down the pipe in each column, in each row, etc., and you're trying to strategically place things in the correct spot so they will pay off later on. So kind of a long-term strategy for that, if you will.
Yeah, most definitely. And Ook now devoid of mostly, he has mostly yellows and reds at the top of his board. Not a whole lot of access for the blues. He's going to have to excavate down to the bottom of the board in order to unearth some of those blues. No real place for that blue-red, kind of fumbled on top. Probably going to turn that into something useful. We'll see how it pays out.
Yeah, he's already setting up the blue in the middle of the board as he clears out the top side. Looks like it's probably just going to be... Yeah, well, now he's opened up for one in column 6, so that's going to be good. Ooh, might have a possibility for doing a whole lot of damage if he can get a... It would depend on RNG really cooperating, which, we know how that is.
But both players really raining down destruction on these boards at 6-6. It's a virtual dead heat between Betty and Ook. Looking like Ook has a little bit more color diversity on the board, and Betty just needs a whole bunch of reds to get out of her level 8.
That's exactly what she needs, and I think she's she's doing the right thing, going for the low play, setting things up first as Ook is out at 143. Now Betty's just waiting for the rest of the pills to pop. There's 1, there's 2, and she'll be out at 155. Hey, Dad.
So a very close game between the two players there. Looking like Ook has a horizontal potential, ready to fire off on his whim, looking for either a double. Oh, look at this double yellow for Ook.
You're gonna go for the sweet tea.
Beautiful combo from Ook. That's going to put him, wow, it's still, Betty caught up. It's 32 to 30, 31 to 34 right now. It's going back and forth here. This is amazing.
This is the kind of back and forth action you would expect from two very good veteran players. As another combo continues to drop down for Betty. She's down to 28. Just holding on to a bit of a deficit here, but then this middle of the bottle is going to be a little difficult. A lot of blues to play with.
Yeah, Betty raining down carnage upon carnage with those combos, responding with a T of her own, looking like there's a little bit more compactness on Betty's side of the board here. Ook with a little bit of interesting situation here. He's probably going to have to take those yellows out at the bottom. I'd like to get it set up horizontally, but I don't think it's going to be the case here as he has the blue garbage set up in that 4th column. We'll see how it pays out here as Betty has combos ripping and roaring, ready to fire off at her will here, looking for a couple of reds and yellows to make that a reality.
Yeah, and you saw from column 6, that was where Ook kind of got rid of those blues on the bottom of the board, and now just got rid of the yellows in the same way. Looks like he's trying to go for some sort of combo set, and gonna have to fire off a little bit of it. Just trying to get the blues up top, but not really much getting anything. Oh, nice little setup there. That should clear it out as 339 will be for Betty. 336 for Ook, still very close as we were going into level 10.
Betty closing the gap, but Ook responding. They're definitely not out of it yet, both of these players here. Ook with a whole bunch of setups, horizontal setups, right? Oh, and Betty with that swim in that 1st column, making no garbage on her side of the board here. It is 36 to 36. Both these players looking for it, and Ook responding with a cross. This is combos upon combos, raining it down. These players are
big old lightning bolt on the right side for Betty.
Wow, this is amazing stuff here, Ethan.
It's an incredible fight here for this opening game. And just looking at the mid-game point, looks like Betty's going to have a bit of a color advantage. A little bit of diversity on her side of the board, but only 4 yellows left on Ook's side. That's going to be a little concerning, especially if he's getting hot dogs. He's getting a lot of mustard and ketchup.
Woo, and Betty maneuvering that pill at the bottom here. Gonna go ahead and maneuver that double red. Bunch of reds is what Betty needs, and Betty being gifted the gift of red. Look at that drop combo from Betty. That's gonna make things exposed over on her side here. Horizontal yellow on that side as Ook is looking for some blues, but the blues are not coming over on Ook's side of the way.
She is doing real well, just trying to keep those blues open. Uktha, however, trying to find the ways to open up the blues and getting a couple of things going here, but it's a lot. Like we said, it's a lot of hot dogs, unfortunately, and not much you can do with that. That's going to open up for a clear, though, as Betty now out at a 5-11, looking to be at about a 13 virus lead, as she is starting in level 11, but Ook struggling to find any blues to really open up that left side of the board.
Yeah, this blue is really it's hamstringing Ook right now. He's not able to get that, and he's been having some maneuverability issues on the board because he just wasn't being gifted the colors that he needed here. Looking still for some blues. That seems to be just the MO of what the doctor's saying. And here's the perfect blue he needs. Excellent work.
Yeah, now finally getting the opportunity to open up the board. And Betty having a little struggle here on the top, but leading to some combinations to kind of drill things down. Ook almost done as he is now at a 551. So we're now going into the final level with him. It's going to be a 15 virus deficit, about a 7 or 10-ish second delay between the two players.
Yeah, and Betty creating a little bit of a chasm. Another sweet tea over on Betty's side. Now a little bit of a chasm over in her second and third column with a whole bunch of yellows on her side here. I like that drop column that she has set up with the yellows and reds. It's going to allow for her to have a little bit more plays here as Ook still at the top of his board, trying to make some damage. And Dennis, look at that drop L from Betty. Excellent vision from Betty.
Yeah, great vision there. It looks like she almost went for a drill down, but decided against it. Might be trying to go for a horizontal on column on the second column. I think that is the play. That looks like what she's going to do. Yeah, she's going to drill that down a little bit, trying to open up the reds on the left side. So she's got about a 10 virus lead right now. Yeah, and you kind of see the aggression just drilling down the middle of the board, trying to just keep those pieces moving as quickly as possible as Ook is trying to narrow the gap here. He's down now 11.
Yeah, Ook is hitting that down press as hard as he can. He knows his back is against the wall with this first game. Betty looking to drop this down. That blue into a drop combo, into a setup. No garbage over on Betty's side. A very squeaky clean end game. Just yellows and reds, and everything is very straightforward.
This is gonna be a perfect finish. She just needs 2 more red pieces to finish this game out. Waiting for them to pop in, and it's a lot of yellows, a lot of blues, a lot of yellows, lots of blues. There's the one red she needed, and she's out at 7:38, and that will be game number 1 for Betty B.
Man, excellently played from Betty. And Uko's definitely wasn't, he just was getting he was being gifted some really rotten RNG for a few of his levels here, but, you know, he was able to maneuver and he had everything lined up the way he needed to. It just wasn't coming his way. But these players will reset, get into their next match between that. We're going to have ourselves a game 2.
Yeah, and you really saw that in level 10 when you had that blue-red setup on the left side, and the blues were all surrounding those red viruses, and just like I said, it was just a bunch of hot dogs, a lot of red, a lot of yellow, a lot of mustard and ketchup. Nothing you can do about it, and just got to get them out of your system and try to get those blues. And he eventually did, but it really cost him in time.
Bust out the bid, bring your appetites, and then we to chow down on those red-yellow blitzes over there. But anyways, we can get set up with the round 2 resets here. We got readies from Ook. We got the GGs from Betty. Now we're ready from Betty.
Now we got a ready from Betty and ready from Ook. We seem to be ready for playing game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, pills. So here we go. Game 2 getting underway. I'm liking the setup situation that Betty's going to have. Open horizontal will lead to a lot more diversity, a lot more opportunities to clear out the blues. But you can kind of see there's very few yellows on her board. 1, 2, 4, 6, now down to 5 yellows on Betty's side of the board. That's going to be a little concerning going into the mid-game point.
Betty trying to use those yellows as strategic garbage. There's no real place for it. Just going to go ahead and drop that down. Everything is mostly set up. I think she's going to, she's going to get that little mini bracket clear with the red, yellow in the center column. It is 20-22. Betty with just the slightest lead over on Ook, where Ook's board is looking a little ski-free. It's sloping over to from the left over to the right.
Yeah, sloping to the left side, very, very packed, very easy way to kind of get some quick kills, quick clears, and a great one. There's already set up for another bracket. Just needs a red blue on that side to knock it out. And look at Betty, yeah, Betty having to deal with a lot of blues on her side of the board. There's that quick kill right there, opening up that left side of the board. And Ook now down to about 8 viruses, but Betty not far behind. She's down by 7, then bringing it down to 5.
Yeah, and Ook turned all that opportunity into something very, very wonderful, mostly devoid of any sort of garbage, and he has mostly everything set up, like that red horizontal that will be cleared over on Ook's side here, but it is going to be 4-4. The second game, excuse me, is neck and neck between these two players. Ook looking for a yellow horizontal with that yellow virus, excuse me, over in the bottom part of the row here. Betty looking for a couple blues, and we got rebuffered from that. A 154 for Betty, and some time for Ook when he will be out of it.
Whenever we can get the wonders of technology back into our side, we'll get that all squared up. But yeah, so we go to Betty's side of the board. She's already up and underway for level 9. Bit of a tight board on the top. Oh, bit of a misplay.
Ooh.
Bit of a misflip there from Betty. That's going to be concerning, as looks like Ook's done at about a 156, according to stream there. But we will try to get his stream re-upped as soon as possible. But looking at Betty's side, she got out of trouble, managed to avoid the mistake. And there's a bit of a sweet tea there from Ook, because it looks like we got him back up to full.
Yeah, and Betty turned an opportunity into something very useful later down the board here. So that misdrop earlier on the board, Betty was able to drop that down, and it almost looked like she didn't really have an issue whatsoever or a misslip. So really excellent work from Betty. I think Betty's trying to signal for a sweet tea, perhaps a red, yellow, and another. Oh, look at this combo ready to set up here. One more red, one more yellow. She is going to fire up at her own whim, and boom, look at that tea into another drop.
Oh, another great double set, another great combo there from Betty. Continuing to move down the board, now down to 12 viruses, as is Ook, who's now down to 10. Still very close, as we are almost halfway through this second game. Trying to see. I see what Betty's trying to do. She's going to drill that down and try to get rid of those reds, and she does. Beautifully played there. And Ook only has 2 little red viruses left to clear out, so should be a quick deal there for Ook on the right side, and a couple more blues for Betty to clear out. And that might take a little longer to handle, knowing how RNG likes to not be nice.
Most certainly here. And Ook looks like he's probably going to get out around 335-ish, if I were to imagine, depending on if the pills come his
way.
It'll
be a 336.
For that. 336. Ook has a definitive lead over on Betty, who gets out at a 359 into her level 10.
So about a 20-second difference between Betty and Ook. And this is where Betty's going to have to really start getting aggressive in this opening level 10. She can do so there with a T. That's a good way to start it.
A monster combo from Betty. She's certainly not out of it. She's ripping and roaring with these combos of those trying to not trying to split the board. Board naturally being split down the center, creating a little bit of a chasm. Hopefully it's not going to create too much drop time over on Betty's side. Just blues and yellows on her top line, as Ook maintaining a relatively flat board. It's 22-33. Ook firmly in the driver's seat with this level 10, but can he maintain that to force a decider?
Yeah, that's what he's really got to do. He's got to keep the pace going. Got to really keep this momentum in his favor. But you can see Betty really doing a good job, kind of opening that divide. Again, it's a big issue of blues. That's going to be her big concern right now. And yeah, really doing a good job there, kind of clearing things out the way. But yeah, she's got to do her best to try to get these blues out of the equation. Maybe a log on the right side. Yeah, that's exactly what she's working on there. Well, she was, and then one of those things got cleared out.
Ooh, still turning into a good opportunity. Not a lot of garbage over on Betty's side, but still looking to get some blues to make sure the board is not terribly sloped over on the side here. But Ook playing this level 10 absolutely magnificently.
Yeah.
Board, no garbage on his side. He's going to be into his level 11 with a 517. Excellent.
517. Wow. Fantastic run here from Ook as he goes into level 11. Hoping to force this into our 8th decider of this tournament. Already up to a pretty good start. Wouldn't mind seeing a double blue going for a horizontal. He does.
Woo!
Good strategy there. And I guess moderate minds think alike.
Excellent vision from Ook there. Looks like he has everything lined up, ready to fire off. Betty having combos, but just not anything useful at the moment. Ook with a misdrop there. He's going to try to turn it. Yeah, he's addressing that immediately with that yellow and blue.
Yeah, doing his best to try to mitigate it, or at least trying to turn it into something positive on the other side. A little bit of a bracket there on the right side to kind of clear things up as Betty is out at 625. Looking to be about 18 viruses behind. She's going to have to really start to kick the tires here on level 11. Start to get really aggressive to try to make this a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, and Ook really turning on the jets here. Look at that drop combo.
Yeah.
He's exposing everything over on his side. I like how he has this red drop down. If he can get a couple, look at this. There's a couple more yellows, maybe a yellow red, or he's going to manufacture something. Excellently done over on Ook's side. Yes, it's 22-34 as we take a look over on Betty, who Betty is just, she's hitting the gas hard and really trying to make a comeback over here. But Ook is just, he's been playing this seed absolutely brilliantly.
He really has, and already down to about 15 viruses to go. There's a little bit of a tuck clear there on the left side for Betty. Already looking to be down to about 26, still about a 15 virus lead for Ook, and he's already down into the single digits, already into an end game here. Trying to finish this off to force another game 3. Has the right pieces to do it. Will he he's going to clear it off the old-fashioned way on that side? Yes, he will. Just needs the reds to finish off. That's the right play there. Just needs another red on either side to knock this out. Oh. And there's one, and here comes the other, and it will be a finish at 7:38.
That is fantastic a scorching time. Yeah, 7:38 is fantastic. Yeah, Ook played that absolutely magnificently. And Betty sees the results written in the stream, goes ahead and resets. They're going to probably shake the nerves out here. We have yet another decider. My goodness.
Oh, another decider here in the second round. As I mentioned, 8th so far in this entire tournament this month. It's kind of what you want to see from some of the best Speed Tetris. Speed Tetris. What am I thinking? Oh my goodness! Can you tell I'm a little rustic? Speed Dr. Mario players. I've had a day.
It's been all right here.
But we are just about ready.
With the food coma and the announcers with the announcing coma. This is analysis by paralysis. But these players are going to not be paralyzed as they will shake off the nerves and really go to town with their third game. And we have a 3, a 2, a 1, and a
pills. Do you see why I commentate pixelated football and not do this anymore? But we are off and running with our third and final game in this match between Betty and Ook. And nice, diverse setup here for Ook on his side of the board. He can do a little bit of color changing. The yellows are going to be a little concerning for Betty in the middle of the board. It's going to be really red and blue dependent on her side.
Yeah, and Betty trying to use all of her pills the double red came at just the inopportune time, and she would have been able to make a combo, but already committed to the play before she was able to do that here. But I like this drop combo she has set up with that. Going to create a cross, open up there. A little bit of garbage on top of that red. She's going to have to address that in order to advance her board over on the center part of her board. It's 22-25, and Ook really trying to minimize his garbage as well.
Yeah, he's got to minimize the blues right now in this point of the game, since he's got, and there's a nice little clear there to open up the middle of the board. And I see what he's trying to do. He was going to try to get a yellow horizontal clear and try to do it that way, and he gets it. Beautifully done. Great job there. It does leave one blue remaining, but I think he'll be okay with that to kind of just try to burn out the rest of the yellows and the blues on his board. Should be a nice little finish there for him. Betty is going to be down to about 10 viruses to go. We're getting a little bit of a refresh here for Ook, and we'll get that updated in just a second. And Looks like, yeah, those blues in the middle in column
Oh,
4 there for Betty, that's going to be concerning, but that's not actually going to really help with the drill down. And just needs one blue to knock it out of the way. Oh, she's in a great position. A blue-red would be ideal
ooh,
here, and she gets it. And
gifted the blue
apparently still
red.
struggling, but Betty now out at a 157. But yeah, Ook apparently still struggling with the yellows there on 8. Gonna get what he needs, and he will get out
Ooh.
whenever the pieces cooperate at 2 minutes flat. So a 3-second advantage for Betty as we go into level 9.
Ook a little miffed with that level 8, but I don't know if he realizes how close this game 3 is. Absolutely neck and neck with these players here. It is a 6 virus difference between the two of them, as Ook having a whole bunch of yellows in his top line, and looking over at Betty's side, Betty raining down destruction on her board here. Really flat top line over on Betty's side. She's going to be able to really turn that into something fantastic if the pills are coming her way. You see that these combo players are really fantastically creative, and a little bit of a misshift over on Betty's side. I think she wanted that blue red just a little bit more into that lastmost column.
Yeah, you kind of saw that fat log that Betty cleared out on around column 3. It was a big way to go to kind of to open up that board. So now Betty trying to work on the yellow there in column 3. I can see what she's going to try to do, a bit of a bracket. It's not a bad play to go, and kind of setting things up on the right side as well, trying to compact some space there as she's down to about 7 viruses to go. Now looking to try to fill things up on the left side, does so.
Oh.
Nice little tuck. Gonna get a little combo clear here. Another setup there to clear out the blues, and a double red. Needs one more red to finish off 9, and gets it at 341. So looks to be a pretty good advantage for Betty as she goes into level 10. And 341 for Ook puts him at 9 back.
Yeah, Ook, the time that Betty got out of it, Ook has now eclipsed that time. So Ook looking like he needs going to go ahead and just do the old-fashioned clears for these last bit of the viruses. Just a vertical straight down game. I think that's just how the board was presented over on Ook's side. One more red shall do it, and one more yellow out of the 401. Still a pretty close game, but I know Ook was not. That was not the level that Ook was looking for.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a slog there for Ook, unfortunately, but you know, he's gonna have a really good middle of the board here. You see how all those viruses are compacted from from about row 3, 4, and 5 from the top. Those are very nice and compact. He'll have great opportunity to kind of just obliterate that side of the board. And then once that opens up, it should give him a great chance to really kind of narrow the gap here.
A whole bunch of combos that Betty was able to fire off here. Going ahead and clears that blue over onto 8th most column. No real place to place that yellow blue. Probably was trying to turn into something a little bit more useful. A little bit of a scatteredness over on Betty's side. Probably going to go ahead. Oh, okay, I thought she was going to go and take those yellows out, possibly horizontally, but that was an excellent little combo from Betty. Really not a whole lot of garbage, and she has everything mostly set up. 6 of 25. Betty really taking charge with this last level here. Now she has the blue set ready to fire off with the horizontal. She chooses to take it.
Yeah, she chooses to take that down, and she's got the blue taken care of on the bottom row. Just needs to take care of the yellows and the reds, and she will be in business for level 11. Already setting things up very nicely. There's the clear for one yellow. There's a clear for the red. Needs one more yellow to knock it out. Oh, she's just going to do it underneath for funsies, and does so at 541. She will go into level 11 with probably about a 20 virus lead.
The biggest lead we've seen thus far with these two players here. Betty really firmly in the driver's seat with this level 11, barring any sort of disasters. Horizontally clearing that garbage to make sure everything has a place ready to fire off is Betty. Probably going to go ahead and get these blues cleared out horizontally. No, she's going to go ahead and just vertically clear it. I think it's a smart play. Looking into it here, Ook still looking at the top of his board in his level 10, looking for some plays, but Ook not being able to get them. It's 20 viruses main for level 10 on Ook as Betty's just ripping through this level 11.
Yeah, that top of level 11 had a lot of double reds, double yellows, double blues, a lot of things where you could just needed just one double pill and you can knock it out. Bam, bam, bam. And that's kind of what she's done right here. She's already down to 24 viruses left and already looking at about 638 into level 11. Already drilling another bracket clear there, and she's going to get down to 20 in under 7 minutes.
I knew Betty was going to get that set up here. If she gets a red yellow, that's going to do some damage over on her board. Oh, she gets that red yellow, drops it down. Excellent combo from Betty. That's going to really do some work on her board here. It is 13 viruses remain as Ook trying not to get lapped at this point, but it's looking pretty textbook as far as Betty clearing this board out here. I think it's going to be case in point.
Yeah, this is probably what we're going to see. It's just kind of a bit of an academic run at this point, but Betty doing an incredible job drilling out that left side of the board. Gonna have to get some blues, however, and waiting for one to pop in. Gets it. Probably going to take the top pill. Yep, does so. And can pretty much do what she pleases with this final set. And so maybe try to do that old fashioned. Yeah. Oh, just needs a red and gets it at 738. And that is your ball game. Betty B will move on to the semifinals to take on Frank.
Brilliantly played from both of these players here, and that's, you know, we got to see magnificent plays, yet more deciders. We got to see edge of the seat action, and this was awesome. So great GGs from both Ook and Betty. Commiserations to them, and Betty advancing into the semis. But in a few moments, we're going to take a real quick break. We have 2 more matches with our round 2 set up for our DrMC. Don't go anywhere, folks, because this is, well, already said, DrMC.